Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys today? So I am working on the goat pen again. I'm doing the north side of the pen. This is one of the sides I was really dreading because it goes into the woods. So basically what I did was there is another brace, corner brace here. Well, it's not a corner brace, but a brace there, because actually I want to run a fence from there to there as well, but later. But I used my string, I tied it there at that brace so that I can make all my posts straight in a straight line. And I've dug, I think I put in 9 posts along this line here, and that one's actually a little short, but as you see, I got the string just touching each one of these. Another thing you might, if you're doing this and using wooden posts, you want to make sure that both edges are touching the string. There's been a couple times where I wasn't paying attention and one corner was kind of cocked away from the string when I buried it, and so the little wire, you know, had a gap there, and then I had to push it in and it made it wrinkly right there. So I try now to make sure that both edges are touching the string flush. And this is just a jungle in here. Fortunately, this is the end of this side, so it wasn't bad. I put 2 T-posts right here because this big tree and there's a lot of roots. And I was digging this post and those up there. I ran into a lot of roots, and so I just put these. I'm not a big fan of T-posts, but in this case, with this big tree here, that was really a handy fix. Put them 2 T-posts in, and then I have this final corner brace here, which I just finished digging. And I just gotta put my brace across the top there to that edge. And then I'll have to put the wire in the next step. But this is where I am on the north side. And then I've got the west side, which goes all through the woods, and I'm just dreading this because I'm going to have to get a saw and hack some of these limbs down in order to make it work. There is a barbed wire fence up here, but obviously that's not going to keep the goats in. So I'm just telling myself one side at a time. Get this side done, then I'll worry about that side. So I just thought I'd show you what I got done and how I did it. And the next step will be after finishing this corner brace, and I'll have one more corner brace down here to dig. Which I'm going to have to move this hay rake actually, because where I want it to be is right here so it matches up with this. Put another corner brace here. Once I get them 2 braces in, I can run the wire. So stay tuned and I will show you running the wire and what all that entails. Assalamu alaikum. So what I did today was I rolled out the wire, and let me tell you, it was not fun. There's a lot of wild blackberries in here, and they were just holding on to me and didn't want me to come through. Like I said before, I don't have a chainsaw. My last chainsaw I had took a dump on me, so pretty much just used a mower and a sling blade to cut a trail through here. And dragging that wire through this trail was not very fun. But I got her knocked out. Our next step is to, I'll show you the corner brace I did too. This is also a different style corner brace I did. Kind of more of a lazy man's corner brace. Instead of, let me set this stuff down, I guess. Instead of twisting the wire like I showed you on the previous video from, you know, one corner down to that corner, I just used an old 2x4. And it's back here in the woods so nobody will see it. I think this style of a brace looks kind of ugly, but it does the same thing. So I nailed that 2x4 crossways from there to there as extra support to keep the whole thing together. And I got this 4x4 here in the middle as a spacer. And these are my posts here. They're about 3.5 to 4 feet. Well, maybe 4.5 feet in the ground, these two posts. And it's pretty sturdy. I don't think it's gonna move much. I think it'll hold once I start stretching and put tension on it. So our next step is to nail this edge to the brace down here, and then we'll have to go down there and stretch it tight. But actually, all I want to do today is just nail this end to the brace, and just getting that wire down here was a job enough in itself. So that's what I'm going to do now. So continuing on with the fence today, where we are now is I'm just meeting this corner here. That's where we started. We got that side done. And if you remember before, we started back there in the woods with the wire and came this way with it. So before I stretch it tight, the last thing I have to do is make my brace here, corner brace. And what I'm going to do is put 3 of them. I put 2 already. One here, big one in the center, and then one more we're going to dig for right there. And when I do these braces, usually what I do is I take the board that I'm going to, you know, put right here to keep them spread. I usually lay those out on the ground so that I can dig the posts pretty close to exactly where they need to be. For example, with this one here. Got it butted up there, and then I'll start my hole. I'll probably take it and cut it off right about there because it's chipped. So I'll start my hole exactly right there, and then it should fit pretty tight. If it doesn't fit quite right, I can adjust it, but that gives me an idea where the hole needs to be. And also we want to make sure that the post is lined up with the string so that they'll all be touching the string all the way down. So that's basically where we're at, and once I dig this hole here, I'll be able to stretch the wire, and this north end here will be complete. Alright, so now we have our hole dug, and just gotta put our post in there. And fill it in. I don't have any cement, but what I did was I dug the hole more than a third, or I'd say more than halfway, like almost 2/3 of the way down. And the other thing I'm going to do is just keep packing it as I fill it in. And once we put our brace up and the wires and everything, hopefully it will be secure. I would recommend though that you do put cement in your corner posts if you can afford it. So let's fill that in, and I'll show you how I pack it as well. This part is really important. If you're not using cement, you want to just make sure you every so often just keep stopping and packing it real good. Otherwise, your post is not going to be very solid. Make sure we're still touching the string, just barely. Everything is good. Let's pack it again. And I would say that's pretty good right there. One thing we got to do now is just connect the dots, basically. Put our support braces in between and take our wire and twist it tight, and it should be a pretty solid corner brace. Assalamu alaikum. So I just finished making the corner brace, and it's not really a corner brace, but well, corner brace would be L-shaped. But anyways, I'm not sure exactly what you would call it. A brace anyways. Just use some scrap wood here and wedge these spacers here in between. And I put a little pedestal for them to sit on. I like to do that because over time they'll slide down. Even if you nail them in there, they'll work their way down, but having this little step here keeps them from moving as much. I think it's better. I just use pieces of scrap wood or something to hold that up. And then we put this wire cross brace in here, and I basically just put a plank in there and twist it till it's taut. You want to be careful because you can break it if you twist it too much. And I put a staple at that end to keep it from sliding up. And same here. So that way it's supporting itself. To stretch the fence, I use this brace here. Just put a chain on it and stretched it tight like I showed in the other video. And the only thing I got to do now is go nail that with staples to all them posts. Then I can cut the wire. Bam. And this side here will be done. This is the north end. This end will be done. Then I just got to do the west side from there down to that end. And then from that corner to this corner. And put a gate on here. And it'll be done. So anyways, I'll update you as I continue to work on it. Have a blessed day. Assalamu alaikum.